Jeff Link of Keller Williams Professionals Asheville is proud to present the Asheville Real Estate Podcast. Welcome to the March edition of our podcast. I'm your host, Joe Leininger. We have a great show in store for you. If you're thinking of buying or selling in the next few months, you might be ready for some key strategies for negotiating that contract. If that's the case, we've got the insights and strategies for you to be successful to making your negotiations a win-win. We'll also discuss our local market activity, so stay with us. It's all coming up next. We're here today with Jeff Link of Keller Williams Professionals Asheville. Thanks for joining us today, Jeff. Tell us what's going on right now in the Asheville real estate market.
Joe, home appreciation rates in the Asheville metro continue strong despite a sharp downward trend experienced nationwide. According to a report published by the Office of Federal Housing Enterprise Oversight, the annual same home appreciation rate in Asheville was 11.7% as of the fourth quarter of 2006. The rate nationwide stood at 5.9%, a rate that has declined in each of the last four quarters. The divergence in Asheville's appreciation trend is also reflected in its rank among other metro areas in the U.S. In the fourth quarter 2006 report, Asheville ranked 32 in the list, which ranks from the highest to the lowest appreciation rate. Since the first quarter of 2006, Asheville has moved up 78 spots in the rankings, which typically include about 270 other metros.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. For a national perspective today, we're also joined by Terry Murphy from U.S. Learning in Memphis, Tennessee. Terry was recently featured in the book, The Best Real Estate Advice I Ever Received with Donald Trump, and she's here to share with us what she's seeing on a national level here as we close out on the first quarter of 2007. Terry?
Hi, Joe. I'm happy to report that the fourth quarter of last year was our benchmark for the low end in real estate, and we're back on our way to a healthy 2007. New construction was down 14.3%, as it usually is in the first part of the year, but home sales did stall in January and February. Commercial real estate is moving along, though, quite well, and that's generally a good indication that residential will follow shortly thereafter. Interest rates continue to be stable, and the additional housing inventory that was added to the marketplace in the last quarter is starting to dissipate. It's getting absorbed. So that makes our market slightly more competitive and active as we enter March and close out that first quarter. Now, with more inventory sitting on the market, it's a smart strategy to brush up on how to write that contract to make getting a property you want for the best price and terms. Now, there are several key points in an agreement where both the buyers and the sellers can secure the best outcome without major hassles. With a little help from their real estate professional, Joe, they can implement some easy strategies when writing and countering those purchase agreements to make the sale successful and the closing flawless.
Thanks, Terry. That could be a winning strategy for the upcoming spring market. What factors should buyers be aware of when submitting a purchase agreement? Jeff, how do you advise your clients?
Joe, it all starts with knowing the inventory and comparing your ideal home to others in the market. Looking at comparables before making an offer is your first step in the process. Once we've done this and determined the offer price, buyers should then address the details that will ultimately make or break this agreement. There are a few items that can make the negotiation process easier for both parties, especially as it relates to taking occupancy and dealing with personal property. Sellers want to see that the buyer is committed to closing the transaction. By increasing the amount of the initial down payment, the buyer conveys solid commitment, and the seller feels more comfortable that the sale happened if they remove their home from the active market. Buyers should also include a pre-qualification letter from a lender to make their offer stand out when relocation is involved. Submitting personal information about a job transfer can help the seller understand any real-time issues.
What other areas of the agreement are important here?
Well, in almost every contract to purchase, the area that can make negotiations a little tricky is that of personal property. It is critical that buyers and sellers understand what personal property will stay and what is excluded. Sellers can make it easier on themselves by letting go of items that aren't a big issue, and that can make a buyer's life easier. If a seller wants to take items like ceiling fans and light fixtures, then this can increase the stress level for the buyer, who must find replacement items. It's better for sellers to have important personal items removed prior to the showing to avoid hassles at contract time. Other items like basketball hoops and appliances should also be addressed to make the negotiation shorter, easier, and clearer. Remember, the most important goal is that both parties get to yes in a spirit of mutual win-win.
Joe, I totally agree. When emotions are high, negotiation stress levels are more intense. It's with smart guidance on the part of the agent that can help maneuver the buyers and the sellers through this area of the transaction and make everyone a winner.
That's a great point, Terry. Thanks. Jeff, do you have anything to add?
We encourage all our past and current customers and clients to call us when they are thinking of buying or selling. We'd love to consult with you before doing those improvement projects or comparing dream homes. We're happy to be a resource for them and their friends and family.
Great. Well, we're at the end of our show today, but I wanted to thank you both for your time. It was a great program. I look forward to doing this again next month.
Thanks, Joe. We'll talk again next month.
You're welcome, Joe.
For more information on our show or for information on the Asheville real estate market, contact Jeff Link of Keller Williams Professionals, Asheville. You can reach Jeff at 828-279-6585. You can also find Jeff online at www.jefflink.org. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Asheville Real Estate Podcast.